Hello everyone and welcome to today's June energy update and live healing meditation. My name is Rebecca Louise French and I am super excited to be with you here today and to share this information with you. When you join us on the video, please feel free to drop your name and where you're watching from in the comments if you feel comfortable doing so. If not, just sit back and relax and enjoy this time together. The way our call is I keep saying call. The way I'm used to doing calls, can you tell? The way our video is going to run today is I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself if you haven't worked with me before. Then we're going to talk about the June energy and why it's driving us all crazy. And then I'm going to do a healing meditation to hopefully lift some of that heavy energy that's driving us all a bit crazy. And then I'll be talking a bit about the Year of Healing course and a great deal that you can get on that course, followed by a time where if anyone has any questions, that I will do a question and answer. And if you've worked with me before, you know that question and answer isn't necessarily me answering, but it's your chance to ask the angels and guides a specific question that you might want answered, or it could be from me. It's up to you. So a little bit about myself. Interestingly, I've been talking to the angels and guides in the couple days leading up to this because I always ask them what they want me to share. And this time they wanted me to share a little bit about my background and how I got to where I am. So for those of you who haven't read my book or seen my book, Good Little Church Girl Ascends, a little bit about me is that I did start my life as a good little church girl. I was raised in a incredibly strict conservative church. And I wore long dresses and head coverings and was submissive to the men in the church. I taught Sunday school because that was acceptable for the females in our church. And generally did what I was told to be saved, depending on the religion that you're from. I'm sure you can all identify with that. I think the hardest thing for me in that process was other people telling me what my relationship with God would look like. So I don't diss religion. I don't think there's anything wrong with religion per se, if it's supporting you and your relationship with God. I now prefer to use the term the divine. Some people say the universe or spirit energy. I'm cool with all of the above. Me personally, I chose to switch to calling it the divine or divine energy because I think I had this warped view of what God was based on that church upbringing of this mean, vindictive, fearful person to be afraid of if you do something wrong, wrong in human nature terms, and a God that loved you if you did everything right. And that was a little too black and white for me. So I did some searching and discovered slowly along a really long life path where I feel I was meant to be in my relationship with the divine. And that connection has been very cool. So while still being a member of the church, I explored various types of healings, from Reiki to cranial sacral therapy to taking part in meditation retreats from various different organizations, and had some amazing experiences along the way, some of which are in the book and some maybe I'll share with you another time. But each one was like a little awakening nudge for me. And the great thing that I learned is that when I was ready, the next step was revealed to me. And that is one of the messages they wanted me to share with you today, is that whether you are starting out on your spiritual journey, or you're an amazing healer or medium or clairvoyant yourself of some sort, or just feeling that beautiful connection to source energy, no matter where you are on that spectrum, there's always going to be a next step. So each time we're learning something new, we're growing outside of our comfort zone. And that always comes with change. So change comes first, and then that comes followed by something amazing being opened up in our lives. So don't be afraid of change is the message that I keep hearing. Change is good. Change is good. Share with them that change is good. And the thing is that sometimes change sucks, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, yay, all change is wonderful. Those of you who have read my book know that I've had some pretty sucky times in my life that have helped me to become the person that I am today, but they weren't pleasant. So we have good change and we have not so great change going on, and that's okay. They all lead us to where we're ready to be, to the next unfolding, to the next learning experience. Good morning, Cara. Thank you for being here. So that's a little bit about me. So my journey step by step took me away from the church eventually. And I then became certified as a Reiki practitioner, a crystal healer, metaphysics. I completed a master coaching life coach certification. I'm also a certified teacher for high school biology, and kind of take all that experience and smush it into one, which is I'm an energy healer that actually looks at the body almost like a hologram, and I can see where your energy is not flowing, where you've held on to stuff from your past or your past lives, and I'm able to clear that and let it go for you. And then in the same regard, lately talking about steps, I took a step. I thought leaping into energy healing, going from someone who thought that energy healing was hogwash to believing it was good and I could do it, to then thinking, well, distance healing, that doesn't really work either, to then doing distance healing on complete strangers and having them write and tell me how amazing it was for them and how accurate all the information was. So that was pretty life-changing for me. And that's been over the last 3 or 4 years that this has all unfolded. So I got comfortable as an energy healer, working distance on complete strangers. And then the angels went, okay, you're ready for your next step, and pushed me outside my comfort zone yet again. And that was to something even huger that yet again I didn't think was possible. And that was to be an energy channel for the divine. So you'll often hear me talk about the angel said this or the angel said that. I actually channel angels, ascended masters, spirit guides, and most recently I've been told there's like nymphs and spirit beings that we haven't even put a name to yet as humans. And they all come through with something to say. Those in the Year of Healing meditation course can attest to the fact that every week is different. We have no idea who's going to come through and chat to us. And we've had everything from the surfer dude, who was really cool, but he's actually quite strict with us for a surfer guy, to the spirit of the grandmothers, who had some really deep messages to share about us from the origin of the earth and their viewpoint of where we're going wrong and where we can improve. And I've got to say, I think my favorite was Archangel Faith so far, because sometimes they let me talk like this, that they're dropping messages in and I'm sharing with you as they come in. And other times, like Archangel Faith, my voice changed, and she's got a really cool accent. I like her. So yes, so I'm now an energy channel on top of the rest, and most recently, as you know, an author. And I wrote my first book over the past 3 or 4 years and finally published it with the awesome, wonderful help of so many beautiful people. So including Lisa Riemann, who runs this Ascension support group with me. My amazing editor. I could not live without you. Thank you. Mwah. So that's a little bit about me. So that's where I'm coming from. I talk to the angels. I call them angels, but it's like everybody. And I bring messages that they want me to share with you. The cool thing about big group messages like this is it doesn't matter when you listen to this. So I know there'll be people joining us live right now, which is awesome. Thank you for being here. There are people that are going to watch this over the next couple of weeks, and there are people who may even stumble across this video years from now. Whenever you're watching this video, that's when the information is relevant to you, and you'll get out of it what you're ready to hear. And the thing that amazes me every time, particularly in the Year of Healing course, is that we can all listen to the same meditation, and I'm channeling it, the words are coming out of my mouth. And then when people are commenting on it, each person is getting something different out of it. They can hear totally different things than another person that listened to the exact same meditation. And that's because we hear what we're ready to hear, what we need to hear, and what we're ready to change in our lives in that moment. So moving that aside, we're here to talk about the June major changes in energy. And I was chatting with my spirit team earlier and said to them, like, why is it that you're getting me to do a June energy update like now? Why didn't I do it at the beginning of June when people were going through these major changes and things were in a bit of upheaval and things were going on? And it is because, as some of us have experienced, the energy of this past weekend was super intense and not in a good way. And they wanted me to come to you after the crappy weekend so that we could talk about not only what happened around the end of May, beginning of June, but also what just happened this past weekend. So a lot of people, some of my clients, some of my friends, some of my coworkers have come to me and said, what is it with June? Like, there's people who have left long-term relationships, people who have lost their jobs, people who have suddenly, like really suddenly had to move house and without warning. And these events that are happening, they're big life changes. And we can look at those and go, like, they were sucky. I didn't want to lose my long-term relationship. I didn't want my best friend to suddenly turn into a backstabber and hurt me. I didn't want these big changes to happen. I was comfortable. And the thing that they're saying is that when we are comfortable, we're not learning. So we have these big changes happen that sometimes at the time seem really difficult, but there's always a reason on the other side that we kind of sometimes see, days, weeks, years later for why that event took place. And if we really look back on some of those experiences that we might consider negative, we can see that they made us into who we are today or brought us to a new point in our life. So they don't want us to lose heart when the sucky days happen, because they are going to still happen, but we're going to find a strength and a resilience within us to rise above and learn something new about ourselves and go on a new adventure from whatever that path takes us. And that's the exciting part of it all. And I'm even getting a little emotional when they're sharing this. And I think that's because I'm feeling your release and your acknowledgement of the fact that, yeah, it's not fun to go through these changes, but to know that there's a reason for it, that on the other side, you're going to see even a deeper part of what an amazing human being you are and be excited by that. Yes, Lisa just said, oh, the unknown. Yes. Exactly. We've had this conversation a lot, that we're like, well, we know there's something else. Like, there's another step, but I can't figure out what that step is. And the thing is, it's okay to be in that unknown spot. It's very uncomfortable for us human beings that like to know what's going on and what it means and when the yucky stuff is going to end and when the good stuff is going to start happening. And the thing is that sitting, that patience, it's good for us. Character building. Thanks, angels. Character building is what our grandparents might have said about that. But essentially, that's what it is. It's us learning more about ourselves. And in those quiet moments, we're actually giving our body a chance to recover from the yucky changes. That's good. You're feeling emotional, Lisa. It's the release. Yay. We have to nurture ourselves after big changes. So you don't walk away from a long-term relationship and go, oh, well, that's cool. Bye-bye. I'm good. And life goes on. And likewise, any major change that happens in our life, whether it's moving house or changing jobs or something like that, we need that rest time. Okay, yeah, they're saying everybody needs to take a nice deep breath. We just released something pretty huge there, whether we realize it or not. So everybody take a nice deep breath with me. And feel it really coming into your lungs and then letting it out. Giving yourself that opportunity to just finish the release of energy. And you can do that for yourself in the coming days. Breathing is going to be really important in June. Okay. Oh, yay. Tingles, Cara. That's awesome. I got them too. My hands just went all tingly. And lower back. Is it lower back, shoulders for some people? If you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, you might start to feel them either feeling a bit tight or getting ready to release, because there's stuff going on in our shoulders at the moment. So in the coming weeks, take breaths. When you feel overwhelmed, when the emotions come up, when things are happening that you just can't, you feel like you can't control, because you can get through it. Stop and take 3 or 4 deep breaths. Oh, Cara, shoulder blades for you too. Okay, they said that's clearing, coming up. It's coming up to be percolating. They love the word percolating, and it's not a word I use in daily life. It's percolating. it's coming up in the shoulders, and that will clear, I think, in the meditation a bit later. So that was the energy around end of May, beginning of June. And as you guys know, some of you know, I moved house at the end of May, beginning of June, and also released my book kind of halfway through May. So those were two very big changes for me, putting out my story and also moving house. Even though I only moved 15 minutes down the road, it is a very different feeling for me. And it's also moving from rental to ownership, which brings a lot of different energy with it as well. So Lisa's saying your left neck was sore this morning. I had a headache on my left back too of my head. So that might be something else we're working on today too. That's cool. Thank you, Lisa. So that was the end of May, beginning of June, was like the big changes that you might have noticed, things going to crap really fast in some areas, or it could have been a positive change. The angels are like, don't be so negative. Some of the changes they feel are positive that we're going through, and it might not feel that way to us, but sometimes it does. So you might have had a positive change. Like for me, finding my own dream house has been an amazing positive change. The move itself sucked. For some people, getting out of a relationship where things weren't going right is a positive change, but it's also that difficulty in leaving that happens. So those big changes happen then. So then the reason why this meditation is happening today and not at the beginning of June was this past weekend. So we're around the middle of June now. So for those of you who are watching this later, 2017 also, around 3-4 days ago, a lot of us started noticing that not only were our kids going a bit psycho, but we were feeling very heavy. The emotions that people kept sharing with me were like drained, tired, emotional, exhausted. I know in this house, holy crap, my kids were like not agreeing on anything and not getting along, and then suddenly everyone was in tears, and I was like, I just want to run away. Like, I don't want to deal with this. And we've all ended up with stomach upsets within those days as well. And you got to remember, stomach upset is like about something you can't stomach, something you don't want to stomach. So there's the energy of clearing that. But the energy of this past weekend that just passed us was stuff. How many times did they want me to say past? Stuff from our past that was coming up to clear. So things that we thought we might have already had a healing on, or things that we thought we left behind in our past and didn't have to deal with again, has come back up. And it's not to make us go, man, I'm being dragged back to the past. Or I thought I dealt with this. Why is it coming up again? It's not to discourage us. It's actually this energy coming up to clear once and for all. And so I know myself, the way this looked like is a fellow energy spiritual worker friend of mine had advertised a week or so ago that she was offering a free half-hour coaching healing session in exchange for it being broadcasted live on her YouTube channel as advertisement for her technique that she uses. And I ended up doing that. It felt right. And like, seriously, she was accepting 5 people, and I think I was the first or second person to see it. And that never happens. Like, I have friends that do card readings or a quick energy reading, and I always miss it. I always get in before, after they cut off and say, we already have too many people. So I knew it was meant to be. I didn't know the energy of last weekend was going to suck. And I did that session with her on Tuesday night. So last night. And the stuff that came up is stuff that I have dealt with seriously over and over again in healings. And I'm like, why is this coming up again? And it was pretty big stuff. And the theme that kept coming up for me personally was not good enough. And the interesting thing about not good enough, and see, it doesn't resonate with me now. How cool is that? She's cleared it. It's gone. The thing about not good enough is right afterwards, my son came up and gave me a hug, and I went, wow, he's got low self-esteem issues and really needs a lot of positive reinforcement to feel happy about himself and what he's doing. I've given that energy of not good enough to my son, because energetically, we don't just pass on to our kids our DNA. We pass on to them the energy that we have worked with and going to work with and the experiences that we've been through, as does the other parent of the child that contributes to the DNA and the energy. So that's pretty huge that happens. I just had this like aha moment. I'm sure you saw my face change. That what about kids that like artificial insemination? You're trying to clear energy from a person whose life history you don't even know. Because when you're with your parents, you know what they have online and you all work through it together. That's really cool. Sorry, the geneticist biology nerd in me has just thought of a whole new level of feelings. So yeah, that's what this past weekend was. Sucky energy coming up from our past, stuff to clear. So think about what you went through in the past, probably in the last week. It's been coming up slowly. They're saying percolating again. It's such a weird word. Think about what's been coming up for you. Think about how it affects you and be ready to let it go. Don't hang on to it and like keep grabbing onto it and worrying about it and going, oh, I don't know what to do about this and it's come up again and I'm so stressed out. It's going, hey, this is how I felt. They're giving me an example, and I know this person's watching right now too. Sorry, person, I'm not going to name you. Someone who's feeling like they want to have a smoke when they haven't had a cigarette in a long period of time. That desire might have come up in the past few days as your form of your past coming up to bother you. And it's that reminder of your past and going, do I really need this again? Do I really want this? Why is my life driving me to a place where I really want to smoke again? And it's not about smoking, obviously. It's about looking at that from your new perspective and your new growth and your new position in life, and not going, oh, I feel just like I used to, but going, I now have the wherewithal, the self-control to go, I don't need to do that. What other coping mechanisms do I have? I will go meditate. I will go walk in nature. I will find a body of water and use it to my advantage. I will have chocolate instead of a smoke. I don't know, but then chocolate might be someone else's weakness. Whatever it is, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, forgive yourself. They said that a lot. Forgive yourself. Let it go. No blame, no accusations. Forgive yourself and let it go. And you can give it to them. Like, I find that the most handy. Just because I'm an energy worker doesn't mean I'm the only one that can do this. You can sit there and go, okay, this desire, this feeling that's coming up, I now give it to the angels. And you can imagine, I like to imagine Archangel Michael comes down, because if you look at pictures of him, he's often with a shield and a sword. And if you imagine Archangel Michael coming down with his platter, his shield that becomes a platter, and you take all your problems and you chuck them on the plate for him. And you go, here, Archangel Michael, you can take my desire to smoke. You can take my failed relationship. You can take my not good enough or my can't succeed at my job. Why do I hate my job so much, but I want to support my family? By the way, that's not me. I love my job. But that's coming up for other people, okay? Anything that's coming up right now, kids driving you nuts and the conflict and thinking, what am I doing? Do I want more kids? I don't want more kids. My kids are driving me nuts. Why would I want more? But I know I want more. Put it all on the platter, okay? Nice gold platter that Archangel Michael is holding. And then you visualize Archangel Michael taking that platter up to the sun to be totally transmuted by the sun and coming back down to the earth as loving energy. And now I've made Tracy teary too. Sorry, Trace. It's all releasing. All the tears. Like, imagine, someone said to me once, my craniosacral therapist said to me that tears releasing, it's actually also your body's way of getting rid of toxins. So if you think of toxic events in your life that are in your cellular memory, they go into your tears and are released by your body. And that's pretty damn cool too. Okay, so that's everything for the June energy that they wanted me to share. And we can do some questions at the end if you have any. But first we're going to do the meditation, because I feel like if you have some questions, maybe the meditation will clear those for us, and then you won't need the questions. And for those of you who are watching this video later, whether it's on YouTube or in this Ascension group or whoever else finds this, however you find it, feel free to comment below and tag me in it so that I see it. And whether it's a week or a year from now, if you have questions, I'm happy to get around to answering them then too, to the best of my ability. Okay, so don't forget after this meditation to stick around to talk about the special that the angels are offering and then answer any questions. So get yourself comfortable. Have a drink of water before we start, as I'm going to do. Take a nice couple deep breaths. So they said in that June energy update, we've already had a lot of energy come forward, which I'm just going to clear. I got these are my two babies. For those of you who've ever had a healing with me, know that I always hold these two babies for every single healing I've ever done. So it's my amethyst wand and a selenite wand, and they're pretty amazing. So we're just going to clear the energy around all of us and our spaces and the space of this call. We're coming to you now to share with you our bountiful blessings at this moment in time. We thank you for holding space in this moment and for trusting us to come and bring you this message of love and peace. We thank you so much for going through what you're going through in order to reset, rejuvenate, and bring to the energy of the earth where it's meant to be. For you see, Mother Earth has been aching for decades and years and lifetimes. She's been trying so hard to balance all living things and all non-living things upon the earth. And it started to take a toll. And the energy has shifted and changed into a method of coping for the drain of the energy that is happening with our natural resources and with our people. The stress and the strain of modern society. And yet there are also so many blessings of modern society, all of us being able to join in this moment, in this meditation, all of us being able to be present and to join as one. We couldn't do without modern technology. And yet it also does create a drain on us. And so we need this constant reminder to take time out, to ground ourselves, to connect with Mother Earth, and to assist her as we assist ourselves. For when any two living things come together, there is always an energy exchange, and it is always beneficial in some way to both parties. So you see, when so many people tell you that to go out and ground in nature, it is not only for you to bring your energy back into your body after you felt floaty from a blissful meditation, or to help you to ground your body when things are feeling scattered, like the energy of this past weekend. To ground in nature is also you being able to help Mother Earth to bring herself back to center. In the coming days, weeks, and months, many of you will be called upon in order to continue to assist Mother Earth, in order to transform and translate the energy from where it was, where it needed to be then, to where it needs to be now and beyond. It is time for more light energy to come upon the earth. It is time for the darkness to fade away in some areas, and in other areas the darkness will be our greatest teacher, for we can learn and heal from the darkness as we can from the light. They work together, as do humans and the earth in harmony. Living things have their purpose upon the earth, as do non-living things like rock structures. They all coincide and work together and have an energy which pulses and connects us all. And at this time, that is that energy we wish you to focus upon. So as we are healing your physical body, in your mind's eye, you are also sending this energy to assist Mother Earth in her healing and her energy. For as above, so below, we are all connected as one. So during this meditation, as we speak, we are connecting your chakras that are above, that connect you to the divine light energy, to your body, your heart space, and then from your heart space to your earth star chakra, which is about a foot below your body, the earth. You can imagine this energy cycling through from your heart chakra to your earth star, from your earth star up to your heart chakra, from your heart chakra up to divine source energy, and from divine source energy back down to your heart chakra. See the flow and the connection back and forth, up and down. And as that flow happens and continues, you feel that your body releasing the heavy energy which no longer serves you, the energy of the past that came up this past week, the energy of your past lives which have served their purpose, and it's time to release them and let them go. The energy of change which has brought you to where you are today, the heavy energy, the difficult energy, the things that you wanted to hold on to in your past that you thought was the right path for you, the disappointment that you felt over things in the past that didn't work out as you thought they would. Releasing all that energy now. And in its place, we bring in divine light, healing energy from source. White light pouring down from divine source energy straight into our heart space, and from our heart space back up to divine light. And as this cycle continues, we then see new beams of light coming out from our heart space, out to all those that may be in the same household as we are. To our friends and our family, we send this light. We send it out to our neighborhood, to the people and their pets, to the trees, and even further and further, one step further, to the whole city, to the whole state, province, town, wherever you may be, stretching this loving light energy from divine source energy to your heart space, and then beaming from your divine heart space out to the rest of the world. For we are all one. Us, your angels and guides and spirit beings, are connected to you through this divine source energy to your heart space. And likewise, you are connected to all human beings on this earth for the greater good of all mankind. So we have a choice. We have the choice to send out loving energy. We have the choice to send out fear, or to stay in fear and send out no energy at all. And we encourage you to always stay in love, to send out love, to be in love. For when we are in this high vibrational state, that is when true, positive, amazing, beautiful change can occur. We bring you peace, dear ones, love and blessings from beyond. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to give you all a moment to come back. Now realizing I should have said to be sure not to be operating a motor vehicle before doing that if you floated as much as I did during that meditation. I love when the angels bring through love, because it's a beautiful, high vibrational, blissful feeling to share with one another. So now if you thought that was pretty amazing, let me tell you, you can have that every week. The angels do speak to me on a regular basis and had asked me to create a course a little over a year and a half ago now called A Year of Healing meditation course. And in that course, they channel messages like that every week. I think the shortest was 8 minutes. The longest was a half an hour. And when you're part of the course, you get the meditation delivered straight to your email. You can listen to it as many times as you like, and it's a lifetime membership. So it's with you forever. And each email also contains a written message from them that they want to share with us. And that written message contains even more information to help us on our spiritual journey. And those written messages are just as profound, if not more so sometimes, than the meditations. But the meditations, every word that comes out of my mouth, whether I'm talking like I am to you now, or I'm in that meditative state where I have my eyes closed and I record a meditation, either way, the healing vibrations that come through actually shift things physically in your body. So I don't know about you, but my shoulders are now feeling better. I don't know about your neck, Lisa. And Cara, I think you said you had some stuff going on. So hopefully your physical body, even if it's not shifting now or you didn't feel it shift in the meditation, over the next, what are they saying, 24 to 48 hours, the shift will keep happening. So you might find you're a little bit lightheaded. Drink lots of water, salt water baths, all that good stuff, to help support your physical body, because we've shifted some pretty major energy. Oh, Barb said she needed that. You're most welcome, Barbara. I'm glad that helped you. And Lisa's calmer. You've been waiting for this, haven't you, Lisa? The last couple of days haven't been fun. So hopefully that calm energy persists. And I was going to say, I guarantee you that your child will be feeling the same way. Things might calm down in the house, but I don't want to make guarantees. And Tracy, I'm glad that worked for you too. Yes. Shoulder blades. I thought it was Cara. Okay. Very floaty. I know I'm very floaty too. And I'm like, okay, angels, now you can just keep talking because I'm just going to keep floating. So yeah, we get that floaty feeling at every meditation in the Year of Healing course. So what they wanted me to say to you is that for the first time ever, and they're pretty strict about my prices. I don't have much say on that. They've said June, big energy shifts, difficult month, half price for everybody. So you can sign up for the Year of Healing course, year 1, for 50% of the price right now for one more week. So the sale ends on the solstice on June 21st. And I'll pop the code down below when this video goes to the group. But it's what you use for your discount code is New Start. So it's all one word, capital N-E-W, capital S-T-E-R. T-A-R-T, New Start. No, I can't spell, I'm not floaty. So that code's good until June 21st at my website, RebeccaLFrench.com. L for Louise. So I really encourage you to take them up on that. Half off is pretty amazing. The great thing about the Year of Healing course is it meets you where you're at. So you can start any time in the year. It doesn't have to be January. And June is another big new start time of year, as is September, they've been saying to me. So you can join us anytime. There's an awesome, wonderful Facebook community that's a private group where we also support each other. And you get more messages from the angels and guides there, if you wish, when you share how you're feeling in the course, or if you have any questions, and they share messages there as well. So it's a pretty awesome experience. It's a great community, and it is life-changing. They share things about everything from the 4th dimension to the 10th dimension. They share healing vibrations for your whole body. They share relationship advice. They share spiritual advice and energy advice. And it's blown my mind what's come through. And I've really had to get my human mind to switch off and accept and let them talk and share and accept the amazing gifts that they give us and the information that they give us, because sometimes our human mind doesn't comprehend just how freaking amazing life can be on Earth. They're saying to remind everyone that we are spirit beings having a human experience in a human body. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. So that's how connected we are to the spirit world, as they said in that meditation. So thank you, everyone, for being here today. If you have a question and you're live on the call, bring it on. Lisa's saying, I felt the energy go out like a sonic boom, and then later it went up and sprinkled down on everyone. Oh, cool. I did have to keep reminding myself that the energy comes through me and not of me. Otherwise, it's not showing me your full comment. Otherwise, see more. I'll have to read the rest of your comment later. Do let me know, Lisa, if there was a question at the end of that. That's really cool. You felt the energy go out like a sonic boom, because the world needs more love. So it's pretty awesome. The energy does come through me or through you, through all of us. and we send that out through our heart space. And you can do that meditation anytime. Picture loving light energy. Oh, otherwise you get overwhelmed. Thank you. Okay, that's the end of your message. The light energy, if you picture it coming from source to our head space, down to our heart, and from our heart out to the world. It's pretty damn amazing to do that. And I've done various forms of that in different meditations, and I've even used it in healings where I've stood behind someone in my heart space, has gone to their heart space and helped to heal them, which is pretty cool. So it looks like we have no questions. I have trouble feeling overly responsible for the healing of everyone. I hear you, Lisa. And that's actually a problem my son has too, particularly with animals. Yeah, and we've got to let go of that. We're not responsible for other people's healing because they're on their own journey and they have their own learning to go through. And I'm like you. I mean, if someone's suffering, I want to go, I know how to help you. But we have to be able to help others by being there as a support and by shining our loving energy out without doing the healing for them unless they explicitly request that or it feels very called on to do. Like we've shared, I think Lisa and I have both healed people that we felt called to heal because we just knew we had to do it in that moment. Tracy says, I imagine Mother Earth curled up in a fetal position. Oh, yeah, that pretty much says it all, doesn't it? If we loved Mother Earth as much as we love babies, how different would our world be, hey? Like the way that we nurture a baby and care for a baby. If we gave that nurturing, tender care to Mother Earth, that's what she needs. That's what we need. And we can hold Mother Earth like that in our head. That's a beautiful image, Tracy. To hold Mother Earth like a baby in our arms and send that loving energy from our heart space to the earth will help heal dramatically. Like you guys have no idea how deeply and importantly, wrong word, angels, how deeply and profoundly we can heal Mother Earth. I can definitely relate to Lisa, says Cara. I definitely feel the overwhelm. Yeah. And I think the main part to deal with the overwhelm, I know you didn't ask for my advice, but here it is. The best way to deal with the overwhelm is to do what is best for you. And while that sounds really selfish, it's actually not selfish because in doing what's right for you, you automatically help those around you. So stay in love and send them love by all means. Beam out love to everyone 24/7 as long as it's not draining you. If it's draining you, connect to source energy, to your heart, and cut off the rest, and it's not your place to heal them. If you feel overwhelmed, the other thing that really works for me is to say to the angels, yo, can you take care of this situation? And I do. I'm like, Michael, Gabriel, who else would be good for this problem? Oh, Uriel. Yep, Uriel, Raphael, go jump in there, heal that person, because it's too much for me. It's too much overwhelm. And I felt the overwhelm today. I don't know if you've got the news in Australia yet. A lot of you on the call are in Australia today, right now. That there was a apartment building in England that set on fire and like 12 people died and they couldn't escape. The fire started on like the second floor and quickly whooshed up all 24 floors and people couldn't get out. And I really felt that. And I was like, oh my goodness, I feel responsible for that. And then I had to let that go and trust that the angels would be there, that the right people were on site, that the emergency call workers that were there for a reason and were the right people for the job. So, and yes, as Tracy said, she sent Reiki love to the London situation. I had to do that and then take a step back. I just wanted to get back to Barb's comment. When coming out of relationship, can you remain friends only? So are you saying when you come out of a relationship, should you remain friends, Barb? Or that you like shouldn't go back into relationship with them? I'm just trying to clarify what you're thinking. I don't know if you've read that chapter in the book yet, Barb, on releasing relationships. I now know it's chapter 14 because I've had to edit it a couple times since the book was written. But if you read that chapter, Barb, that has a lot on releasing relationships, and it's not necessarily focused on romantic ones, but you can release friendship relationships, romantic relationships, even familial relationships. Chapter 13. Thanks, Lisa. Wrong chapter. I was sure it was 14. We kept rejiggling the chapters. releasing relationships, the June energy, I think that's what you were referring to, Barb. It wasn't just around friends, it was also around relationships. So yes, you can completely release. You don't have to be friends. And sometimes it's best not to and just let it go. And the energy of June was, yes, completion and end of all relationships. I just want to say hi because my sister's on the call. Hey, Mars. You're a little late, Mars. The call just ended, so you're going to have to go back and get like the healing stuff out of it. We're now doing questions. Is it possible? So you're wanting to know if it's possible to remain friends after relationship breakup. Is that what you're saying, Barb? Write me quick. I'm just going to go back to Kara's comment while I wait to hear back from Barb. Kara said she imagined it like a swirling pink light, like a big spiral. That's gorgeous because pink is very loving, heart-centered energy, which is awesome. So yeah, that's a beautiful spiral to imagine sending out. Rose quartz. And I did a healing this week for a couple people with the same grid, and rhodochrosite came through. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Rhodochrosite, which is also a pink stone, and it's a great heart energy as well. Rhodochrosite is good for divine feminine healing, in particular situations of abuse, disempowerment, that kind of thing. So, okay. So you're asking if it's possible to remain friends. It is possible to remain friends after a relationship breakup. I'm not saying go ahead and cut all ties with everyone always. What I mean is you need to check in with yourself as to why you want to remain friends. And is it the best thing for you to do? Because you've got to remember, in all things, it's not what other people think. It's what is best for you. So for one person, a relationship breakup would mean the very end, never be friends again. But for another person, it could be that they need to remain friends because they've still got some karmic ties that they need to work out with them. Okay, so if you think of it from an energetic perspective, think about what is there to gain to continue being friends. Is it going to be too hard? Is it going to be continually drawing on your heart space and you're not going to be feeling grounded or centered? Or is it being friends going to make it easier in that you still provide support and love to one another and you still learn and grow from each other? And that's something only you can answer. Okay, so if it feels right in your heart to remain friends and it is not draining on you as an individual. See, I'm feeling draining, but that's totally your call, Barb. I would give yourself a break and see what it feels like and do some healing work around it. I don't know if I've sent it to you yet, but on my YouTube channel, there is a free healing meditation that was channeled last year that's for time of change. And it helps you with transitioning in times of change. And I would recommend listening to that meditation before you make a decision. You're thinking of how sad he is. Okay, yeah, no, you need to think of you. And I'm not going to share your personal information of how you told me the breakup happened. Right now, I think you need to focus on you, and he will be draining your energy because, I mean, together you decided, like energetically, before you were even born, you guys had a soul contract to come together in this relationship, and in that contract to learn what you were meant to learn, and then to break up in a certain manner for both of your learning. And if you're thinking of how sad he is right now, you're not taking care of your heart space. So focus on you. Draining is the word I keep hearing over and over again, Barb, and I don't want him to drain your energy right now because you are the important one right now. So focus on you and healing you and finding your new center, your new balance, and your new opportunities, and see where that leads you. Yeah, if you can't find it on YouTube, Barb, just send me a quick PM and I'll send you the link. Okay. Tracy had a comment. It sounds funny, but I've been doing a lot of walking lately and speaking to a mountain range in the east of Melbourne. She's like an auntie. Oh, that's cool, Tracy. I was thinking that during the meditation when they're saying like rocks have energy and that kind of thing. I went on a meditation retreat once where everyone else was like meditating in a field, and all I got was this major compulsion to get up, walk over to this cliff face and put my hands on it in a very specific place. and I felt this energy pouring through the rock into my body. So that doesn't surprise me, Tracy, because you have animals that bring you messages as well. So you have a beautiful connection with nature. So the fact that a mountain range is speaking to you is very cool. When you say she's like an auntie, I feel like I get a little bit of the energy. Oh, I see it on my right side. I get a bit of an energy around the grandmothers that came through in the healing meditation. Was that around week 23, 24, I want to say? Someone commented on it recently in the group saying they felt like they were getting in trouble by the grandmothers. But there was like an auntie type energy there that there to support us and give us messages and talk to. So that's amazing, Tracy. I'm so happy for you. That's really neat. Go, Lisa, you're on the ball. So week 23, the grandmothers came through and shared their wisdom. And a few of us felt like kids getting told off for not following our hearts and doing what they wanted us to do. And then it turned around and it was very nurturing and loving. So yeah, that's really cool that there's the mountain range is speaking to you through that as well. I feel it's very Aboriginal energy, Trace, where you are, that's coming through. Hi, Lynn. I didn't know you were with us. We have beautiful mountain range close to where I live, and I feel its energy and love all the time. Awesome. And you're in Tasmania too. The mountains there speak to me as well. Tasmania and Vancouver Island, where I live now, the mountain ranges and being near the water is a very similar energy, I felt. Obviously, they have very different things for us, being in different hemispheres. I've recently learned that where we go in the earth depends on what energy we need to pick up and connect with, and also what energy we have to bring to that area. So obviously Tasmania's energy is actually quite different than Vancouver Island, but there's something about the mountain ranges and amongst the water that is very healing and beautiful and loving. So I'm glad you have that, Lynn. That's really cool. So if there are no more questions, I might end this call. I'm just checking on our time. Oh, thought it was going to be 45 minutes. We went just a tad bit longer than that, but we're still ending under an hour. If you have any other questions or comments that you want to add, feel free to pop them below once this video goes live, and because Facebook does its thing, then I can get back to answering them probably tomorrow, because it's almost dinner time here in Canada. And I was shown like minutes before I started this call that the angels want me to upload it to YouTube and share it there. So anyone who's watching this on YouTube later, you can comment below and I will get back to answering you if silly YouTube gives me notifications, which I don't always get. You are most welcome, Cara. And thank you everyone so much for being here, whether you were on and you had to go or whether you were here for the whole thing. Your presence here was amazing, and I really appreciated being able to share with you and coming together in this way to help heal the earth. It's a really cool purpose to have when we come together. We always heal ourselves and we always heal the earth. Oh, lots of hearts. Thanks, guys. It was a pleasure being with you, and I hope to do this again soon. Much love. Mwah.